Welcome back to Point Blank. Well, we are talking about something spooky tonight, supernatural phenomena. And already we have comments on the web, so let's take a quick look on the web. Well, Razor Sharp says, to begin, people at SPI do not use their real names, maybe because they fear that spirits will look for them.
Not true. Not true. Spirits look for humans, doesn't need to know their name. They just need to spot you, that's it.
Oh, they need to spot you.
They don't need to ask you what's your name or whatever.
So if they see you, they're able to just
no,
mark
it's
you.
just like we humans. If one cat caught your attention, you will just try and follow the cat.
Right.
Same reasons go for
But
spirits.
how do, assuming that you can, let's say, send a curse to somebody, then you use that person's real name. Isn't that how it works?
For curse, it works slightly different. But
Slightly differently.
For paranormal activities like us, we did investigation, we can safely say that even if we use real names, nothing will happen.
Okay, we'll leave curses for another episode.
Yeah. Okay, let's continue with Razor Sharp's interesting comments. Oh, he's congratulating us. Actually, you, Helmi.
Yep.
Nice and scary stuff with excellent camera shots, music and sound effects. He likes the reenactment on Allentown and the Woman in Red. Your director should be making ghost movies soon and give Night M a run for his money. I think he means...
M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah, Shyamalan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Helmi.
I think the cameraman and the editor also should be credited. Top Y and Kelvin.
Yeah, very brave of you, Helmi, scouting for all those stories. Well, especially during this ghost month, who knows, anything is possible.
Now, Khaled also mentioned that I heard that while ghost hunting, that's the only time when names should not be mentioned. Is that right?
No.
Again,
even during investigation, sometimes we call Nick, sometimes we forget the name, we just call it Nick. So all these cases happen and we are still safe today.
All right. Okay, well, let's get back to the video that we saw on YouTube. Do you think it's real or is it fake?
From my analysis last time, I did some analysis.
Right.
There are a lot of questions that comes into mind when I view this clip.
Right.
When I slowly view it frame by frame, I can notice that there's a lot of irregularities.
Okay. Now we can see it on the on your website.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see it.
I believe we have it picture by picture. Can we look at the website picture by picture? Yes, that's right. Now, so this is picture frame by frame.
Okay,
well, some frames.
Yeah, these are what actually how I did my analysis. Okay, first I take a look at the whole video. After that, I start to crop up page. Okay, look at this first picture one. Okay, you can see that actually the spirits, the so-called I call it the entity, has actually came out. Okay, but not many notice it. If you look carefully, you can see a clear figure of it. Okay, black hairs, light green shirts, and even the arms, the color of the arms is flesh. Okay, you can see very clearly. The only difference is a slightly transparent compared to human. Okay, next we move on to the second pictures. Okay, this is the point where you are talking about. We are walking and the legs is very small. Okay, it looks like sticks. Okay, the question for me is, why is there a shadow, which makes out the angle? Okay, whether is it walking or is it strolling or what? Let's assume that it's not really so important in solving this case. Okay, next we go on to the third picture. Okay, this is the one that everyone spots. Okay, just when it shows, it's very translucent. Okay, if you compare this picture, the image of this entity with the image of the entity, the same entity in the first picture and the last picture. Okay, let's move on to the last picture. Okay, you notice that the first and the last picture, the fourth picture, the entity looks very similar. But during the third picture, it looks so much more transparent. And if you compare the color of the hair of the spirits, okay, so-called the entity, with the guy that is standing right, so-called quite close to the spirits, you notice that their hair color are very similar. Okay, the contrast is there, but have you all ever questioned that if there are so many people down there and the guy is filming the so-called the scene, why is it that nobody noticed that the spirit is there? When
so in other words, you're saying that this is a hoax, right?
It's more of a hoax than it is the real thing.
But do you think that so many people will get together just to film a hoax?
No, okay, let's see they are trying to film something rather than the hoax.
But
it's just that they got it and then they got this intention. They decided at this
Right, they decided to turn it into something ghostly when in fact it was just a trick of lighting maybe. We are getting more comments from the people.
More questions from Khaled actually. to the panel, two gentlemen here. Where would you say is the scariest place in Singapore? And also, did anything transpire during your visit there?
Scariest place actually is up to individual. Everybody has their scare.
But surely there are
For
certain
me,
places in Singapore that are dirty, so to speak.
Is somewhere near to Jurong side, but
Jurong
I cannot
side,
specify the exact place.
Oh, for fear of making the property value.
Correct. We are not allowed to specify the place. We can only say.
Neither are we actually.
Yeah. Actually, from our investigation all along, spirits can happen, paranormal activity can happen anywhere in Singapore, even in Malaysia. Or Asian places.
Okay,
But you mentioned residual energy, and only some places, not all places have it.
Yeah,
right?
okay. That's why we check on the history of the location. Okay? If there's some we suspect that are caused by violent death, which is commit suicide, murder, all this, there's much higher probability that this residual energy will be there. Okay. Why people say Changi? Why people say those stuff old camps? Because during Changi, during the World War times, there is a lot of this stuff. Killing case happened.
Violent deaths.
Yeah, correct. So there's a higher possibility that you might meet one of the residual energy.
I see. Okay.
So that's the case.
But what about places that have been left vacant for a long time? Houses that are deserted? What about cemeteries?
Cemeteries to us actually we find much more comforting.
We find it a peaceful place.
Is that because that is where
It's a
the
resting
spirits
place.
are
Yeah, supposed to rest.
at peace, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas for vacanted place, not all vacanted place are equal haunted place.
Now, somebody once told me that museums can also be quite scary.
Oh, museums.
Especially for somebody who can see ghosts, especially if it's the kind of museum that has a lot of antique objects, because spirits tend to attach themselves to certain objects and they travel with that objects wherever it goes. Is that? do you
Yeah,
find
that's also due to the residual energy. Because
Okay.
you don't know where's the residual energy tied to which object.
I mean, you can sit in a vase, you can
Yeah,
sit
it can
in
be
a pot.
it can be a building, it can be a room, it can be anything. Okay, so but what we know is once that object is destroyed, the residual energy will be gone.
Once the object is destroyed.
Yes.
Oh.
That's what we study and we analyze.
Okay, so let's say ever since you brought home that antique vase, things in your house haven't been quite right, and you throw away that vase, you should have gotten rid of the
That's
evil forces, would you say?
psychology.
That's
But,
psychological.
Okay, residual energy, you don't know what it will attach to because it's something that we can't see and we don't know. So
Yeah.
you might throw away the vase, it give you a peace of mind because that's the latest edition and that's what something you feel that is giving you problems.
So
But
you guys
might
have
not be
lots
the
of
case.
tools on your hands. So how do you actually measure residual energy and the strength of it in a vase, for example?
There's no way we can measure residual energy because, like we say, we don't know what are the residual energy. Okay, but the tools we have, we actually use infrared thermometer, we use EMF meter, we use all sorts of sound, vision, all this.
Which you will bring one
will-
of these days to our studio, yes, to show it to us.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you. So yes, watch out for subsequent episodes of Supernatural Singapore because
Yeah.
our guys are going to bring it. We have one more question
That's
for
right.
the SPI.
From JG Education, actually, what is the main rationale of doing such tasks of finding ghosts? If they exist, leave them alone. Don't you think you can use the time and effort to do something meaningful? But yeah, people do enjoy those ghost tours. So kudos to SPI for those tours.
Actually, our main objective of doing is more of a study. Okay, just like what he said. Now, right now, if I ask you a question, can you confirm that ghosts exist? How are you going to answer that? Nobody is going to answer it. So that's our job. We are trying to find and study whether this thing exists. We might not find it in our lifetime, but we can say that we gather enough information for next generation to find.
Okay.
So it's a science.
Now, we are going to watch another clip that we found on the internet, and hopefully you guys can cast your expert eye on this clip and tell us if it's real or if it's fake. Yes, let's play the clip. Yes, that's right, the exorcism one. Alright, now, as you can see, there's a man here who seems to be conducting some sort of a ritual. I'm sure you guys are familiar with this clip, right? And when I was trying to find out where this incident actually took place, I couldn't. Do you guys know where it happened? Because
Can't find the source.
they look Chinese, but when they were speaking, it seems to be another language. I'm suspecting Vietnamese or Burmese or. So this man who has this green cloth on his arm seems to be trying to catch something
Yeah.
or perform some sort of ritual. Now, you two guys, have you ever been to a ritual similar to this?
Yeah. We went to numerous rituals,
Mm-hmm.
so we actually see a lot. No? But this type of exorcism, most of the time we are not able to do it.
Yeah.
You are not able to
Yeah,
do
because these are their so-called trade
Pretty
secrets.
private too.
Right. Somebody once told me that, before I was assigned to interview people who've had ghostly encounters, I asked somebody who's an expert at it. He says that it's okay to interview people who've seen ghosts, just never ever go to an exorcism ritual, because that is one of the most dangerous places to be. When a spirit is exorcised from the victim's
there's a
body,
high risk,
the spirit is looking for another body to attach itself to. So you shouldn't be anywhere near an exorcism ritual, whether it's your cousin or somebody close to you, a friend. Try to stay away from these sort of things.
Yeah, I've heard that too, actually.
This is just a theory. Nobody has actually proved it. Right?
Yes.
If you are talking about people that shouldn't be there, then what are you talking about? Those helpers, the guy that doing the exorcism,
Right.
he's also at risk, but he seems okay. Most of
Okay.
them, his helper seems okay.
Now, for you two guys, do you ever feel that you are at risks? You know, when you go out looking for ghost hunting, what about what do you feel? Do you ever feel that your life or your safety is in danger?
Safety, yes, but not really in the sense of danger, but in the sense that you get a scare.
You get a scare.
Yeah.
But what happens when you get a scare? You just move on with your life, or
We
you
try
take
to
it in your
analyze
scare?
the scare.
You try and analyze
Yes.
the scare.
Because we can't get scared and then we run. We
Right.
can't run.
Okay, now let's turn back to the clip. Now, we didn't know quite what this man was doing initially, but he seems to be clearing the house. And now, towards the end of the clip, or after the second half, towards the end of the clip, we see him doing something to a particular woman in the house. And for those of you who are seeing this clip for the first time, watch out for her hands. Watch out for this woman's hands. All right, now. Okay, now she's. Okay, now look at her hands. Look at how white her hands are. It's a very unusual color.
Wow.
And you know, before that, her hands looked normal, and now they seem to have suddenly turned ghostly white.
Did it look like one continuous shot to you?
Yes, of course. I mean, I don't think there's any camera trick here. Okay, now, as you watch this closely, you'll find that her hands will gradually turn back to a normal color. But if you notice a while back, just a few seconds ago, those hands look extremely unusual. Very, very scary indeed. Now, you guys, do you think this was also a hoax, or this could be the real McCoy?
From the video part, there doesn't seem to be any editing.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I noticed for all these type videos that are distributed out, their quality are very low. They can use camera.
This one's quite sharp, though. I have to say. I mean, I don't think it's that low.
If you get a normal video cam or decent handphone, you can get much better quality than this. Okay, even the source that we read, we actually got this clip like 1.5 years back, and
Okay.
we did some studies. There's nothing much on the video clips that we can see. So okay, let's say this thing actually happens and it's true. There's still a lot of paranormal and still a lot of uncertainties in this area which we can't really explain it. Okay, why the hands turn white in the side of the thumb and then it claims back to flesh? It can be due to scare. You see, when you scare a person which is you scare very scared, you see his face actually turn white, right? You can see the white, the pure greenish part.
Okay, so you're still trying to explain it from a psychological
No,
point
because
of view.
in humans, this thing does happen.
Okay.
So you are
Just a
scared and
possibility.
the weakest part is your body. You might cause
Okay.
a change in your body.
All right, we're going for a break, and when we come back, we'll take on a few more questions from our viewers, and we'll also be meeting a mother and daughter who both can see ghosts. Be right back in a while.